So, good afternoon. It's good to see everyone. My name is Brendan Gill. I represent the 5th Freeholder District, so probably the first question you probably had is, what is a freeholder? It's a question I had too before I got involved in public service and public life. So I am part of the county's legislative branch of government. The county has a county executive and a legislative branch which is made up of 9 members. And I'm one of those members and have the pleasure and the distinct honor to represent the communities of Belleville, Bloomfield, Glen Ridge, Nutley, and of course my hometown of Montclair. So I'm glad to be and see everyone here today. We actually have our freeholder meeting tonight in the Montclair Council Chambers. We meet usually in the Hall of Records, the Historic Hall of Records, in the county seat, which is the city of Newark. And then throughout the course of the year, we'll go to different municipalities in Essex County and have our meetings so people can have easier access to see what the activity of the board is. And we can outreach and recognize people in the communities that we represent for some of the outstanding things that each of you has accomplished. So we're actually here for the second time. Last year, we had the honor of recognizing the Montclair High School crew team, which once again has enjoyed a tremendous season. As all of you know, the crew program is a relatively new addition to the roster of sports at Montclair High School, but in a very short time, the program has enjoyed a tremendous deal of success. The crew program was not there. I see we're joined by our first ward, Councilman at Large. I apologize. Mr. McMahon, Councilman McMahon, thank you for being here. Last year, for the first time ever, I was honored to recognize the crew team on behalf of the Freeholder Board. This year, you managed to match last year's level of success, which certainly deserves recognition, so it's a great welcome to have you back. Before I read a little bit about the team, I'm going to ask your head coach, Jeremy. I'm just going to call you Jeremy. That's all right. To come up. We went through this actually last year, and I didn't, in 1 year, coach, I didn't get any better pronouncing your last name. But I wanted you to come forward, coach, before I read a little bit about the team. This year, the crew team had a great season that included outstanding results at 4 prestigious competitions this past spring: the Garden State Scholastic Championships, the Philadelphia City Championships, the Stotesbury Cup Regatta, and the Scholastic Rowing Association of America's National Championships Regatta, otherwise known as the Nationals. At the Garden State Championships, the Montclair Mounties won 8 gold, 4 silver, and 2 bronze medals, and qualified 11 crews to compete at the National Championships, the most ever in the Montclair history crew program history. And I think that deserves a round of applause. At the Philadelphia Championships, they won 2 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze medals. At the Stotesbury Cup, they won 3 gold and 1 silver medal, where team members won more individual medals than any other competing school. And at the Nationals, they won 3 silver and 1 bronze medal. Specifically, the gold-winning boats were the boys' junior varsity 8 crew, which won gold at the Garden State Championships, the Philadelphia Championships, and the Stotesbury Cup. The boys' varsity 4, which won gold at the Garden State Championships and the Stotesbury Cup. The girls' junior varsity 8, which won gold at Stotesbury. The girls' varsity lightweight 4, which won gold at the Philadelphia Championships. And the girls' varsity squad, girls' freshman 8, girls' freshman quad, girls' freshman 4, boys' varsity lightweight double, and boys' junior varsity quad crews, each of which won gold medals at the Garden State Championships. The 2013 team was coached by our head coach, Jeremy, Coach Lorna Rundle, and assistant coaches Ruben Mann, Steve McNeely, and Julian Anya. Thank you. At this point, we've been practicing too. Before I ask the coach to say a few words about the season, and Jeremy to say a few words about the season, I just wanted to say it's, for those of you who don't know, I'm a graduate of Montclair Public High School, and my father is a longtime educator in this community. And part of the opportunity that I've had as an elected official, which I truly cherish and enjoy, is recognizing people in the community for their accomplishments, because it really means a lot to what you've both done, what you've accomplished on an individual level, not only personally, but everyone who comes from this community and from Montclair High School takes great pride in your accomplishments, and it's really my pleasure to play a small part in recognizing you, each and every one of you, for the long hours of practice, the hard work and the dedication, the time that I know that goes into this work. We didn't have this program, when I was in high school, so it's great to see that we're growing the amount of things that our students can participate in. And with that, Coach, I'd like you to say a few words about, again, a tremendous season. It's my pleasure to have you.
Nothing written down as usual. I want to thank Brendan Gill and the Essex Board of County chosen freeholders. Is that right? Is that correct? I remember about that. Obviously, I also want to thank John Porcelli, who's not here at the moment, Athletic Director John Porcelli, Montclair High School for their unwavering support of the team, Montclair Board of Education as well, Montclair Booster Club and all the parents, and all the athletes on the team. Just briefly about the season, because I could go on forever talking, I normally do. I think that you all recognise that we get out of this sport we put into it, and I've told you many times before, it was an absolutely amazing season, again, and each year I always think we can't do it again, and we seem to somehow find a way, and that's always been what we've always tried to do as athletes, as team members, is to find a way forward and find a way to succeed. And the success we had at Garden State Championships, I know I've mentioned this before to a lot of you, it was phenomenal. It made me very, very happy because so many of you won gold medals, some of you won medals. And just the season as a whole, so many of you, even if you didn't necessarily win those gold medals that you really wanted to win, I think everybody got a lot out of this season. And hopefully, those of you that are going on to university and those of you that are going to carry on with the team, you learn a lot from the season and can continue to be successful in whatever form that takes.
Coach, I'll now ask you to call up your assistants who are here, and then each member of the crew team to receive their commendations.
Okay, thanks. Coach. So, Coach Steve McNeely and Ruben Mann, please step up. You should see this writing, because you know me in my eyes, but once again, I'm going to try and my pronunciation of surnames, but I'm going to try and do my best and read out everybody that's... I'm going to read out the medal crews to begin with, and I don't know if... Is anyone here other than the medal crews? So there's a whole list of everyone that's on the team at the bottom as well, so I'm going to leave it to read out the medal crews, and if you're here, obviously step up, and if you're not, you can't. Okay, give me 1 second, which is why. Right, okay. Yeah, no, I can just read it. It won't take a second. I'm going to just get into it. I'm just trying to find my way where I'm going to start on this. Okay, Boys Junior Varsity A.
The crew team.
Yeah, there's so many. Listen, let me tell you. I know you're all crew members here. We had 99 people on the team this year, so there was a lot of success. So I'm going to start from the Boys Junior Varsity A, because that seems to be the one I can read first. It's Abe Colco, Matthias Hans, Nathan Pollock, Yannick Bielski, James Wisniewski, Eli Pompau, Jonathan Silverman, Joe Miklitsianos, and Noah Schifrin. Boys Varsity 4, Hayden Klein, Jake Stepanski, Nate Goodman, Justin Murphy, and Amelia Dunnell. Girls Junior Varsity 8, Megan Ayala, Nina Silverman, Jenna Walpole, Zoe Poglitzo, Pauli Stiff, Shay Luz, Chantal Negley, Beneath Van Winden, Anna McGarley. Please step up. Girls varsity lightweight 4, which was Emily Schnittman, Ariel Mann, Charlotte Kyrak, Andrea Schneider, and Hallie Meisler. Girls varsity quad was Mada Asa Remedios, Teresa Maya, Hannah Steffi, and Daria Thames. Girls freshman 8, Kelly Friedman, Nicole Fassimini, Caroline Kelly, Elizabeth Lewandowski, is that right? Yes. Sorry. Catherine, Kate Heisler, Alison Connors, Rachel Rosenberg, Kate Day, Sophia Corriere. Is that everyone? Quad, Glynis Harvey, Ellie Gardner, Nick Burton, and Nastia May. Girls freshman 4, Rebecca Tao, Rachel Brown, Kaya Benitez, and Tyler Nedzi, coached by Elizabeth Schifrin. Boys varsity lightweight double was Dylan Lewis and Teddy Cahill. Boys JV quad, Adam Pollock, Owen Daly Smith, James Pugh, Ethan St John. Who's that? Oh, Jamie. Jamie Knopf, please stand up. Jamie was a member of the JV8 as well this year, so congratulations, Jamie. Have I left anybody out? Fantastic. I'm so happy. I'll step aside.
We're going to have to, next year we're going to have to move this to another building. Continue this level of success. I also wanted to acknowledge we have in the audience with us a former member of the New Jersey General Assembly, Deputy Chief of Staff for our Essex County Executive, Joe DiVincenzo, and also I think niece who's on the part of the program, or granddaughter. I'm sorry. See, I didn't date you there. But Assemblyman Bill Payne is here. I just wanted to recognize that. So to conclude, again, I wanted to congratulate each and every one of you, to the parents for taking the time to be here, to be a part of this ceremony, and for all that you do to allow your children to succeed. Please know, as long as I have the honor of representing the community of Montclair, that I will be there to support you and the team in any way that I can. So it's been my pleasure, my honor to have a second year. I'm looking forward. Now you're setting the expectation high, so I'm expecting to be back next June for what we accomplish next year. And remember, we're going to have a representative of the team, designated member of the team who is going to speak. So, okay, great, thank you.
So as a member of the team for 4 years, I'd just like to say that these achievements that we've gotten over the past season and the ones that we've received today are really something that came from not just the individual votes, but the team as a whole. We have close to 100 members this year for the 2013 Montclair Crew team, and that's something that's almost unheard of. Now, over the past 4 years, myself and my fellow seniors have watched the team grow from something that had a few people and an incredibly dedicated base, but a smaller base at that, to something as big as it is today, with as many people here celebrating medals as there are. And it's really something that surprised me in such an endearing way, that this team that could come from such small roots and grow into something as big as it is. And for the seniors who are going off to college, we are going to take this experience and expand it to what we will see next year. And This is really something that we have to thank the coaches for, thank all the members of the team for, and thank everyone here for, the parents, everyone who helped. And we just want to say that this 2013 Montclair Crew season was one of the best we ever had, and it was really in thanks to everyone who pitched in and decided to help us. So thank you, everyone.
Well said. So,
Okay, fine.
in my prepared remarks, it says, although you glide through the water somewhat under the radar, I want you to know that your family, your school, the community of Montclair and the county of Essex are very proud of you. I'd also like to recognize the Essex County Freeholder staff. I gave them a hard time, but Gary, please raise your hand. Gary does a great job in helping us put these events together. Without the help and assistance of the staff. So again, thank you for being here. Congratulations on behalf of the County of Essex. For those who are going to college, best of luck. And for those who have years left, I look forward to seeing you next year. Congratulations. Again, my name is Brendan Gill. I have the honor of the privilege of serving on the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, representing the 5th District. For those of you who don't know, the board, I always start these things by saying, what is a freeholder? And a county freeholder is part of our legislative branch of government for the county. We have a county executive and a legislative branch, and our legislators are called freeholders in Essex County. We have a 9-member board, and I have the distinct honor and privilege of serving that board, and again representing 5 communities, Bloomfield, Belleville, Glenridge, Nutley, and my hometown community of Montclair. We actually have our meeting throughout the course of the year. We move our meetings throughout the county to try to bring county government to closer to the people that we are elected to represent. Tonight we are in Montclair, and I wanted to use that opportunity to recognize some people and organizations in this community that I think deserve recognition. And if I can play my small part and recognizing both their service to this community, I'm more than happy to do it. And I think it's my role and responsibility as your elected official. We had here earlier the members of the Montclair High School crew team. For the 2nd year in a row. Crew, which is a new program here in Montclair High School, had a tremendous season. So we'll give the crew team one more plug because they did a tremendous job, and we were happy to have them here. Our second presentation this afternoon is to a woman who is certainly no stranger to this building. We are honoring Carla Horowitz on her retirement from the Township of Montclair. We have with us actually a few members of the council who have joined us, and I want to make sure we recognize them. We have with us our 4th Ward Councilor, Dr. Renee Baskerville. Dr. Baskerville, thank you for being here. The Councilor at Large, Rich McMahon. Councilor McMahon, thank you for being here. Our Township Clerk, Linda Wannett, is here. Thank you, Linda, for being here. We're going to be honoring a close family member, but I also wanted to recognize our former councilman and deputy police chief, Roger Terry. Lonnie, you'll be up in a bit, so we'll be hearing from you shortly. But I also wanted to recognize Lonnie Brandon, who is and I'd be remiss if I did not recognize our executive director of the Head Start program, Tanya Petit, here in I think I got everybody in the in the room, but I was unable to be here when you were Carla, when you were honored by the council, local council. So I wanted to take this opportunity on behalf of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders to recognize your service. So I'm delighted to recognize your more than 2 decades of service to the Township of Montclair. You retired from the office of clerk on February 28th of this year. Carla, you began your career with the township in the finance department. You served as deputy clerk for the last 3 years. Throughout her years of service, she has distinguished herself through her superior performance, development of excellent working relationships, and her commitment to a job well done in processing volumes of meeting minutes, and I'm sure there were volumes of meeting minutes, issuing all alcoholic beverage licenses, and collecting ethics forms. Although we are all aware of the great job Carla did here in Town Hall, I don't know if everyone is aware of her secret life. And that is of a very talented potter. Carla studied at the Parsons School of Design, has been perfecting her craft ever since. 16 years ago, she established a storefront shop, studio, school, the Clay Cellar, and she also has a studio at Essex County, Riker Hill Park in Livingston. In addition, Carla was also the co-founder of the Doubletree Gallery of Fine Art and Contemporary Crafts, worked as an instructor at the Montclair Adult School for many years, taught classes at the New Jersey Center for Visual Arts and Summit, and continues to teach at the Riker Hill Studio, as well as the new ceramic studio at the Montclair Art Museum. Carla is a member of the Municipal Clerks Association, the Potters Guild of New Jersey, and the Friends of Barnet, England, Montclair's sister city. In her retirement, she looks forward to having more time to teach how to, quote, throw pots. I need to learn how to do that. Travel and enjoy time with her husband, Milt, her daughter and son-in-law, Denise and Dan, and her granddaughter, Vanessa. So I think Vanessa's with us tonight, so now round of applause for Vanessa for being here. So Carla, on behalf of the Essex County Board of Freeholders, particularly as a resident of this community, for all that you've done for everyone, in particular for me personally, over the years, offering assistance when I needed it from the clerk's office. And I usually need a lot of assistance, but I thank you, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the Essex County Board of Freeholders, for not only what you've done for the Township of Montclair, but for the County of Essex. Congratulations and best of luck in your retirement.
Thank you so much. I thank the freeholders, and I have to say I'm really enjoying my retirement, but I did enjoy the more than 20 years that I was here. Almost all of it, except for 5 years, was actually in the clerk's office. The first 12 years in the clerk's office, then 5 years in the finance department, then back in the clerk's office as deputy clerk. And it was, working for the town was a challenge and very rewarding, and I loved it. So retirement was not something that I had to do, except to get on with my pottery, but I love the people I work with, I love the people I work for, and just thank everybody. It's a great community, it's my community also, and I've lived here for many, many years. And so it's especially a community. Thank you. My kids had
The more famous skill.
the other famous skill as their teachers, so you're
Thank you.
yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, shoot. Yes,
Go ahead, Lynn.
Vanessa?
How about Vanessa?
Before I do the next presentation, I did want to say, as I mentioned, this is a nine-member board. We have a meeting at 7 p.m. Many of the board members are on their way here, who work during the day, and doing their best to be here. But we do these presentations earlier before the meeting, before we go into our regular order of business. But the meetings themselves and everything that transcribed goes into the record for the County of Essex. Will be broadcast on our public access stations, and we'll be there for other board members to participate in at a later time and read into the record in terms of their recognition. At this time, I want to bring up, we're going to present a memoriam for Alonzo Brandon Sr. And I would like to, now the The Gill family is a somewhat known name in the Montclair community, but does not compare to the Brandon family in this community in terms of the roots and history. So I'd like to call up Lonnie Brandon first, to recognize all the members of the family, the extended family who are here, to recognize the late Lonnie Brandon Sr. And then after we recognize all the family members, and if they want to come up, I'll read, with your permission, a brief portion of this resolution recognizing the great works of a great man. So with that.
Good evening. You know, my dad passed away back in March at the age of 88, and he made his home here in Montclair for 62 years, and raised his family here, and really loved this community, and we really miss him, and we're very thankful to County of Essex and to Brendan in particular for this recognition. With that, I'd like to recognize and ask my mom to come forward. And Aunt Peggy, you can join her. My mother, Naomi Brandon. Aunt Peggy, please. Next, I'd like to call up my older sister, Rosalind, and her husband, Roger. I'm actually a year older than her. My brother, Barry. I saw him earlier there. My brother Craig and his wife Deborah. Next I'll call up my children, Yolanda and Kendra Brandon. My niece Rhonda Robinson and her children. My nephew and my niece, Daryl and Morgan Brandon. And Deborah, you may as well stop and come forward as well. My cousin Deborah Minifield. And believe it or not, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
Well, we got to do two sessions. So, in addition, Mr. Brandon was also introduction of me into public life. One of my first jobs in Montclair was as a park attendant to take care of Edgemont Park. I thought it was going to be a political no-show job at the age of 13. But my responsibilities were to maintain the park house and to keep an eye on the overall quality of the park. And you know, one thing I do remember is that Mr. Brandon, you were always there, checking on to make sure we were doing what we were supposed to be doing, especially because the hours of the job were, I just think remember this, 4 to 8 p.m. So it didn't take long until somebody said, well, you know, the town closes at 4:30. But Mr. Brandon always made sure that we were there doing what we were supposed to do and be led by example, and he made sure that we took pride in the quality of our work because of what it represented not only to us individually but to everyone else. And so I sincerely say that. So thank you for that. Thank you for being a friend throughout my entire life. And it's really my pleasure, again, I had some prepared remarks that I'd like to allow me just to read briefly from this. As we said, this marks 3 months to the day that we lost Lonnie Brandon, who was a neighbor and a role model for our township and all of its communities. While many of us know Montclair as our home from our birth, from a young age, I thought it was important to note that your dad chose to make Montclair his home. For your dad, he saw something special about our town, a place where he could live, work, and start a family, which he did once he married Naomi Booker in 1949, and with whom he would be married for the next 63 years. Together, they raised 3 sons and 1 daughter, and guided 8 grandchildren with their sense of values and commitment to the community in which they lived. I'm proud to say that I also was not born in Montclair. Actually born in Claremont and Belleville, but Montclair will forever be the place that I think we and our families call home. And leaving high school just after 1 year of education, Alonzo Brandon Sr. worked to support his family of 19 aunts and uncles and dozens of cousins. On March 26, 1943, he enlisted as a private in the United States Army, and he served our country during World War II in England and in France as a member of the Quartermaster Corps until his honorable discharge in 1946. Which is And while life in Montclair might not have been as historic as the war effort, nor as exciting as the James Bond movies that he loved, he was able to touch the lives of all who passed him by, children, elected officials, teachers, community leaders, from the day he moved here and until the day he passed from this life on Saturday, March 23rd, 2013, at the age of 88. So it's my honor to present this proclamation to the family of Lonnie Brandon, who have graciously come here tonight, and who I would like to thank for all that our community has benefited from, thanks to their father and grandfather and our friend, the late, great Alonzo Brandon Sr. As was noted, I also have had the distinct honor and privilege of working with our late senior senator, Senator Frank Lautenberg, and I could not think of, help but think and notice the comparison between each of their lives, part of one of the greats of the greatest generation. The greatest generation is a term we hear quite often, but there are truly some outstanding individuals from that generation that I think we really recognize. So it's my pleasure to do that for you and your family. So congratulations to you.
I'm not very much of a speaker. I get nervous very fast. But I do want to thank the freeholders and the town for this award. We appreciate it very much. I grew up in this town. I was born in Mountainside Hospital. And I went to all the schools there. And I don't want to live anyplace else. A couple of times we thought we would buy a house somewhere else, but I didn't want to go. This is home. It's always been home. And I appreciate everything everyone's done for us. Thank you, and God bless.
Anybody else have anything?
My name is Peggy Place. I'm part of Alonzo's extended family. We moved here in 1958, and I was here alone, and Alonzo embraced our family and has been with us through thick and thin since 1958, and his poor children are stuck because they have to continue. So we've been blessed for all the years we've been in Montclair, and thanks to Alonzo.
No, just
Real quick, one thing I would like to add, and this is for my father, who never ever wanted any kind of public recognition. I mean, he actually ran away from it. So, Pop, I want you to know we got you.
Our next presentation is again to a person who does not need an introduction in this community, well known, and again, my pleasure and honor to do it. It's to Deanna London, a true Montclair treasure, who stepped down as the Executive Director of the Human Needs Food Pantry on March 31st. So Deanna, I'd like to ask you to please come up and I think just about everyone in Montclair and the surrounding towns is familiar with the Human Needs Food Pantry and its critical work, but we hope so. But for those of you who don't know about it, let me give you a brief overview. The pantry was established in 1982 by the First Baptist Church of Montclair and was later incorporated as an independent nonprofit organization. It is currently located on 9 Lady Street. So with a staff of 5 paid-time part employees and over 30 regular volunteers, it distributes meats, fresh fruits and vegetables, non-perishables, as well as instant formula, baby food, and diapers for parents with infants. It also provides clothing, housewares, and medical screenings in conjunction with Mountainside Hospital. Most of the food distributed is received through programs coordinated by the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, with the remainder obtained from food drives and the purchase of supplemental fresh food. Deanna began her association with the Human Needs Food Pantry as a volunteer in 1989, then as a paid employee in 1990, before assuming the position of Executive Director in 1996, the position that she held into her recent departure. As the Executive Director, she has had the total operational responsibility from personnel management, building maintenance, client outreach, fundraising activities, food ordering, community relations. I can't imagine why you wanted to this position, but you really truly did it all. And for that, your efforts have been lauded in this community, and I wanted again to play my small part. You were also lauded in the Congressional Record by my late boss, the late Senator Frank Lautenberg. So your efforts have been recorded in the Congressional Record for Prosperity. And Senator Lautenberg said March 22nd, 2013, when this was read into the Congressional Record on the Senate floor, quote, "Her dedication to her fellow New Jerseyans and the compassion she has shown for her neighbors in need is an inspiring example of an American putting everything aside to do all she can for others. It is what, in my opinion, America is all about, that we are all in this together." Deanna was born in Brooklyn and earned her BS degree in political science from Manhattan campus of SUNY. She has been married to her husband, Vincent D'Amico, for 32 years, and they have lived in Glen Ridge for the last 31 years. They are also the proud parents of their son, Stephen. So on behalf of myself, the entire Board of Freeholders, and especially the countless people that you have helped and reached in these times, and it's my pleasure to present to you a proclamation on behalf of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. And I would say, even though I know you are retiring from this position, that we hope that you will remain active. Unfortunately, as we know, the services of the Human Needs Food Pantry is needed now more than ever. We hope there comes a time that's not the case, but while that need is there, we hope that we have individuals like yourself who are going to make sure that they provide for the most vulnerable in our society. So thank you so much, and congratulations.
I think that I probably got more out of the work that I did than the people I helped. Because there's nothing better than going home at night and knowing you just didn't take up space, that you helped somebody and you did something. I've moved on. It doesn't mean I'm retired. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And I hope to continue doing work. within this community and the Glen Ridge community. The efforts of Montclair and Glen Ridge were what kept the pantry going. The need is great, it's still great. I understand that there are more clients than ever now. And I hope you'll all support it because it really does help the most vulnerable in the community. And my greatest wish was that it would go out of business. When somebody asked me years ago, what's your wish for the pantry? I said that we go out of business, but that's just not going to happen. There's just too many people who need and depend on the food that they're given. So I thank you so much for this. And I'm here. I'm still here. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to recognize our next and actually our final honoree for this evening. I know that Freeholder Gill has had an opportunity to honor some legendary and long-standing families in the Montclair community. And this next honoree, while she doesn't necessarily hail from Montclair, she actually hails from my hometown, which is East Orange. But interestingly enough, she has migrated to Middlesex County, and she teaches down there. But her heart is still with Essex County. And much of her time, believe it or not, is spent here in the town of Montclair, and a good bit of it in and out of the city of East Orange. And so, our next honoree is no stranger to civic leadership and stewardship. And so I'm happy to acknowledge Mrs. Alima Zimmer as the recipient of the Essex County American Legion Auxiliary Award for Americanism. Right here between us. We also obviously want to acknowledge the presence of our wonderful Councilwoman Baskerville. And she's going to come and stand with our honoree because you just never know in life that not only is there a connection because of the town, but there's a connection by blood. Now, Alima is an active member of the American Legion Crawford Cruz Unit 251 of Montclair. She is the chairperson of the American Legion Auxiliary Girls State Program for Unit 251, the community service chairperson for the American Legion Auxiliary, and she is the Americanism chairperson. In addition to her work at the American Legion, she's a member of the New Jersey Education Association, a member of the National Education Association, a member, don't let her tiny size fool you, a member of the United States Marine Corps Association and Foundation. An American affiliate member of the Royal Canadian Legion and member of the NAACP. Alima is an educator by trade and has taught at Highland Park High School in Highland Park, New Jersey for the past 14 years. Prior to that, she worked for New Brunswick High School for 6 years. She received her BA in History from the College of Worcester in Worcester, Ohio. She's a lifetime resident of Essex County, and the Essex County American Legion Auxiliary Award for Americanism goes to Miss Alima Zimmer. So why don't you put your hands together. Alima is affectionately known as, she has a nickname, and that nickname is our Shiro. She's affectionately known to us as that because I don't know of anybody who really works harder and who puts her heart and soul into something when she decides to do that. And so before I give this award to her, I'm going to ask Freeholder Brendan Gill to step forward, and certainly Councilwoman, if they want to say a little bit about the post, because I know Alina wanted me to make sure that we reference Crawford Cruise and the historical significance that it has to the township of Montclair.
Thank you. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
It's
Thank you.
my pleasure to be a part of this and to recognize you for your service. I think we actually had a really part of a diverse group of individuals and organizations that have been here. And we started the afternoon with some of our students. We had representatives from our Human Needs Food Pantry. We had representatives from a committed family of service, with Brandon Sr. And now with Ms. Zimmer, we have a representative of community service, but also of our armed services, of our men and women who serve in a different capacity that I think, unfortunately, right now, sometimes we forget. We are still a country that is at war as we speak. And there are men and women who are serving each and every day in that capacity. So when you have an Essex County American Legion Auxiliary Award for Americanism, that means something, you know, and it simply means something to me because it gives me the opportunity to do the things that I like to do, which is, you know, help and serve this community. In terms of the post, and I know Dr. Baskerville, you can speak a little bit to the post as well. Crawford Cruise has a storied history, both not only here in Essex County but in the state, and one that I'm aware of because not only being born and raised here, but there were those in the post who made it a point to come and speak to the students in our public schools to educate them about the historical nature of that post and the legacy of that post and what that means. So it's not just a building on Bloomfield Avenue, you know, that you attended just for events or what it happened to be, that there is a deep and rich history that we all should be aware of, and a significant history that we all should be aware of. So, so with that, Freeholder Clark, thank you for allowing me to be a part of that, and recognize that, and please know that I hope that you and the post will have my unwavering support.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Freeholder. I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity. I am really delighted to be here today. As we were sitting and we were talking about not only the history of the post, but we were talking about Alima's history and how she got to where she is and providing the service that she provided, and we continue to talk as we often do when we're gathering in these type of events. And as we talked, it became more and more clear to both of us that we are not only related through our spiritual connection and our connection and desires to provide service, but we are actually blood relatives at some point. And so I'm just really excited to be here and to share in this. And I'd like to thank you so much for your service, not only in the Marines, but your continued service and your service with Crawford Cruise Post. Certainly Crawford Cruise Post has been a pillar in our community for many, many years. They've provided an opportunity for people to come in and learn history firsthand from people that were actually on the forefront of many battles, and history that is often overlooked in our textbooks. And so we are eternally grateful for your service and for you to be able to share this history with us and allow us to have a first-hand, an eye view of the history that many people that go to our history books aren't even privileged to. And in addition to sharing the history, they've been in a location for people to come in out of the cold, warm your heart and feed your soul. They would feed your soul with the history, but they'd also provide some pretty good meals in there. And so we'd like to thank you for that as well. In addition to that, they continue to open doors of opportunity for our youth. They provide an opportunity for both our young men and our young women to attend Boys and Girls State. And this is an opportunity where they go away for about a week and they learn history, but they also learn academics, and it helps them to really prepare for the next step when they'll be graduating and making decisions. And it also opens up an opportunity for them to qualify for scholarships at a time today when we know those scholarships are needed more now than ever. And so I am proud to be related to you, and I just want to thank you so much for your service and what you've done. God bless you.
You know, Dr. Baskerville, that you brought up something that we didn't actually get to put in the resolution, and that is that Olima was a part of that group, working with the girls in the Boys State. Yeah, so that was right on, and thank you for pointing that out. So, without further ado, the three of us are happy to present this resolution to you as you, Olima Zimmer, were named recipient of the Essex County American Legion Auxiliary Award for Americanism during the county convention held in Nutley, New Jersey on Saturday, June 1st, 2013. And it's resolved, whereas you are a widow and mother of one adult child, now therefore be it resolved that the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders hereby commends and congratulates Olima Zimmer for her many achievements as an outstanding civic example and for being named the recipient of the Essex County American Legion Auxiliary Award for Americanism. God bless you.
I'd just like to thank the Board of Freeholders. I'd like to also thank Dr. Renee Baskerville. I'd like to also say that I am a proud member, and I'm just thankful to God that I'm a very proud member of Unit 251. And as Carol mentioned, this town, Essex County, Montclair, will always be in my heart. Thank you and God bless.